In this lesson, we're going to be looking at the area and perimeter of various compound shapes. In particular, we're going to be looking at those shapes that include circles or parts of circles. So in this example, we've got an arched window and we need to work out the area. Now the window, as you can see, comprises of two shapes, a semicircle and a rectangle. So let's work out the rectangle first. That one's easy. If we're doing this in terms of centimetres, then we've got 60 multiplied by 80, which is 4,800 centimetres. That's easy. Now we're going to work out the semicircle. Now the semicircle has a radius of 30 centimetres. Okay, so if we're going to do this, we're going to do pi r squared to work out the area of the whole circle. So 30 squared multiplied by pi r squared. And what we're going to do after that is we're going to then divide that answer by 2, because we don't want the whole circle, we only want half of that circle. So here we go. So pi times 30 squared divided by 2 gives us an answer of 1,413.7 centimetres squared. Okay, adding the two values together, so adding 4,800 to that gives us a total combined area of 6,213.7 centimetres squared. Now, it may be though that you don't want your answer in centimetres. Maybe you want your answer to be in metres. So let's just look at that very quickly and look at the same process of calculation. So if we were in metres, the best way of doing this is to convert everything to metres first. So rather than 60 centimetres, we would have 0.6 metres, and we'd have 0.8 metres here, and that radius would be 0.3 metres. So if we work this out again in metres, we might have a more reasonable answer. So the area of the rectangle, 0.8 times 0.6, is 0.48 metres. The circle, well, if I do 0.3 squared multiplied by pi, and then I divide the answer by 2, I get 0.14. So if I add these together, I get my final area of 0.74 metres squared. Okay, moving on to the next example. We've got a shape made up of a circle with a small circle cut out of it. So the idea here is to work out the big circle area first. So that's going to be pi multiplied by 5 squared, because the radius of that is 5. As you can see, the diameter therefore is 10. Divide by 2 gives me that 5. So if I work that out, let's do this in terms of pi. So that's going to be 25 pi. If I work out the smaller circle, well, that's going to be pi times 2 squared. If that diameter is 4, the radius is 2, so it's 2 squared. So that's going to be 4 pi. And so the total area will be the big circle, take away the small circle, which you can see 25 take away 4 is 21. So we've got 21 pi centimetres squared. If I want to convert that into a decimal number, 21 multiplied by pi is 65.97 centimetres squared. Okay, on to the final example. In this example, we're going to look at the area of this shape. Well, it's made up of two different two different parts of circles, a semicircle and a quarter circle, and it's made up of a square as well. So we'll start with the square. 6 times 6 is 36, so that's 36 centimetres squared there. The semicircle has a radius of 3, so we do pi times 3 squared and then divide that by 2. So if we do that on the calculator, pi times 3 squared divided by 2, that gives us an answer of 14.14. Now the quarter circle has a radius of 6. So we do pi times 6 squared, but it's a quarter, so we're going to divide the total circle area by 4 in this case. So if we work that out, pi times 6 squared divided by 4, we're going to get 28.27. Adding those together, so add the 28.27 to the 14.14 and then add the 36, we get a total of 78.41 centimetres squared as our final answer. Okay, that completes the examples. Good luck.